Coming to you from the center of the universe in Lipsick, Wisconsin, it's the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Welcome to episode 16. This is Tom.
Kyle.
And Al.
So, guys, you do anything fun out during the week? I know there isn't shit going on, but did you do anything fun?
Well, let's see. I tried not to freeze my ass off. That's about it.
I think I got through that 15-day school week pretty quick.
Yeah.
5 days felt like it was 15 last week.
Yeah, that'll happen. I think that happens to everybody in their work life. We watched a little bit of racing. Of course, you had to watch On Patrol Live. For those of you who watch that show, I mean, I think there's a few of us that absolutely love watching it. But yeah, pretty quiet week. There isn't really a whole lot going on in our world quite yet. But there was one big thing that came out of California, and I'm just going to touch on this. We're going to hit it a little harder in a couple of weeks. Those of you who are part of the Wisconsin Specialty Vehicle Alliance got an email from them that talk about what's going on in California. So in California, I'm just going to read a little bit from the email. So California, the birthplace of American car culture, is planning zero-emission zones that could severely restrict or even ban vintage cars from entering certain areas. These proposals are eerily similar to London's ULEZ, and usually what starts in California sets a global precedent, which we really don't want that to happen around here. If California does it, then usually Minnesota's right behind them. I'm not trying to make any of this political. We're just stating the facts of what has happened in the past. I'll repost this again on the Facebook page. You guys can learn a little bit more about what's going on in California. But California is proposing zero-emission zones to ban high-emission vehicles, including classic cars manufactured before 1978, from entering designated areas. So basically what they're trying to do is they're going to tell you you're not going to be able to drive your car in a certain area. Under these proposals, vehicles like a 68 Mustang Fastback, 57 Bel Air, symbols of an era would be confined to garages or forced off roads completely. We definitely don't need that here. I think we have a big enough following that we can, maintain the status quo we have here. I looked up a little while ago, and it said that 16% of all vehicles on the road right now are considered classic cars. Now, you can say that that's going to be cars that are 20 years old, but, how many of those are actually going to be the show cars, the cars that we have? It's going to be a smaller percentage than that 16%. And out of that 16%, how many of you guys use them as dailies? Not very many of us. I mean, I drive mine a lot. I probably put, 4,000 miles on my truck in the summertime. Some of you go a little bit more, some a little bit less. But it's not these things that are causing the issues. We definitely need to get together and join things like the WSVA. They're going to be on here in a couple weeks talking about the things that the WSVA does for us. And it's an important group to join. And they'll talk to you about what they do, about talking to our local legislators, about keeping them aware about the rules that are coming up, and just making them aware that there are a bunch of people out there who enjoy this hobby. And, we really need to make our voices heard, and they're the ones that help us with that.
Yeah, wasn't it, wasn't it just a couple of years ago where here in Wisconsin there was an issue about fenderless cars?
Yep. And WSVA went to bat for that guy too, and they're the ones that basically brought it all to light. And it was a constant battle with different entities, and I'm not exactly sure where that is right at the moment, but we'll talk to those guys, and like I said, we'll talk to them in a couple of weeks, and we'll have that all sorted out and what's actually going on with that 32 Ford that made the news here in Wisconsin. So joining us next is going to be Dave Hall from the Smokin Meerkats. You'll be able to see the Smokin Meerkats playing live in Lipsick at Hot Rod Tuesday on September 2nd. They're also going to be playing at the Barrel Inn on February 23rd from 2 until 6. Here's Dave. All right, joining us on the phone is Dave Hall from the Smokin Meerkats. The Meerkats are the ones that have closed out our show for the last 2 years, I believe, and always had knockdown, drag-out shows. Dave, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Absolutely wonderful. So, let's just start in the beginning. Well, how the Meerkats, Smokin Meerkats, come to be?
Well, truthfully, it's basically the same band. We had a 4-piece band called Hank Kimball and the County Agents. And I decided I wanted to do some recording of original stuff, and I assumed Hank Kimball might be a copyright problem since we stole it from a TV show. And I thought, well, I'm going to record no matter what, and I'll just make up a band name for that. And I said, well, this is going to be done with smoke and mirrors. And well, there was the new band name, the Smokin Meerkats. So then I said, well, hell with it, we're just going to switch the name and go play and do it that way. So that's how it came about, really.
So Hank Kimball, did that come from Green Acres by chance?
yeah, he was the county agent.
Okay.
We had just like a more of a classic country band thing going at that time, a 4-piece, and just were throwing dumb names out. And I just said that off the top of my head, and everybody laughed and went, all right, that's what we're doing. So that's what it was for a few years. That's what we played as.
That could have been a lot worse.
It could have been.
I mean, I think about the shit that comes out of the garage here, and we start drinking beer and coming up with ideas. Next thing you know, like I said, that's how this all started. We drank a lot of beer in the garage, and next thing you know, we made a car show out of it.
That's the only way the band names come around, too, is a couple PBRs into it, and you finally get some good ideas.
Right. Because all the inhibitions are gone.
That's right.
So, I know you guys play. I mean, to quote the Blues Brothers, you guys play both kinds of music, country and western, and some honky tonk music. So, who's your inspirations, or who's the people that you look up to in that whole business, or do you have anybody that that you like their style and you kind of emulate it?
Yeah, I guess it starts with the outlaw country movement, mostly, Waylon Jennings.
Okay.
He didn't really reinvent country music, but he just did it a lot cooler than everybody else back then.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And that's what started it pretty much. And, we like all that, Merle Haggard, all that stuff. But a lot of the newer ones, too, that follow in their footsteps, like Tyler Childers and Chris Stapleton, that kind of thing.
Sure. I know I always give you guys shit every night when you're playing and asking if you know any Luke Bryan, and you tell me to shut the hell up.
Never heard of him.
Exactly. So we can enjoy that. And there is just something about the way you guys play that I really like. And I don't know if I'd be able to put this into words, because I am not a music guy, even a little bit. I like to listen to music. Like everybody knows on here, I've said it a million times. I can't even clap along to music. I know nothing of it. But there's something about the way you guys play that it's kind of like it's like NASCAR without the restrictor plate. Does that make sense?
That's a really good way to put it, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can sing with the restrictor plate and you're all fine and dandy, but man, when you take the leash off and you can actually play some music, and you're one of our most popular bands for sure. It's just too bad that every time we see you, it's going to be the last time in Lipsick for
yeah.
God knows however long. So how long have you been playing music then?
Well, I took guitar lessons and all that when I was in high school, and my teacher said, you know what you need to know, go out and apply it. And there was nobody around, so my guitar went in the closet for like 15 years.
Really?
I didn't do. Yeah, I drove a stock car mostly at Wisconsin Dells. Raised 3 kids. Got other things to do, and then I said, hell with it, I'm starting a band. So that's how it came about.
I got to ask, were you drinking beer when you said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to start a band"?
Oh no.
Yeah.
If I would have been drinking, maybe I'd have been smart enough to not do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you listen to. There's if I can't remember the name of the band, but they have a song called "I Hate Music," and it makes me think of some of that. Hillbilly
Hellcats.
Hillbilly Hellcats. There we go. They have a song called "I Hate Music," and I'm not suggesting you guys cover it, but it might be a good fit for you guys if you want everyone to check it out.
That sounds like something we would do.
I think it definitely is. So you mentioned you race at the Dells. What class do you race in?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Well, I started out doing enduro racing,
Okay.
and
Like with the 100 cars on the track, 3 wide enduro
we had
racing?
185 cars on the quarter mile at Madison International.
Holy shit.
You can imagine. I was number 73.
So,
They just give you a number. That's what you paint, and that's where you started.
so just about completely mid-pack.
Yeah, and it was 4 wide. We took up, almost 3/4 of the whole track, and they just throw the green flag. And when it gets to be where nobody can drive through, they take you off. Well, yeah, that didn't go great, but I got the racing bug from that, and
Sure.
I went back and did a few. We started out. We did a couple of the street stock nights down there just to see. I built my car and a car for a buddy and see if we could make it around the track and not die. And then I was hooked after that, so I did it for God, I don't know, all through the mid '80s to through the early '90s. I did it.
I did it sporadically too, but I was mainly on dirt, and I wasn't all that great at it. But I had fun,
I think dirt's for growing potatoes, man. Asphalt's for racing.
Well, I don't know. Is there something wrong with our connection?
I think I'm gonna get hung up on it.
You just hurt the one feeling he has.
You need a new band now for that last show, or are we still good?
I think we could. Damn it.
I got to remember
You're
that.
supposed to
That's a
say
good one.
asphalt's for racing or dirt's for racing. And asphalt is getting there, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of like with the guys, well, alcohol's for drinking, gas is for cleaning parts, and nitro's for racing. Well, that's a whole different animal by itself. But anyway, so you mentioned to me a while back, too, that you've had a lifelong obsession with hot rods. Do you want to go a little bit deeper on that?
My father had a Model T, 25 Model T Roadster that he had restored, and then he got a few other various cars, an A two-door and V8 Chevy Coupe, 62 Impala Sport Sedan, a few other things, and his 3 sons all kind of got the bug there, and he was more into restored stuff, and we were more into making them go a little faster, look a little louder, basically.
Right. Sure.
And that's pretty much it. I still have my first car I ever owned.
Which is what?
It's a 1939 Ford Standard 2-door, red with flames, flathead, 3 2-barrels, board, and it's got all the traditional 50s hot rod goodies on it. Dropped axle.
That sounds pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen it. You had it at your show?
I've had it there a couple times, but usually I'm driving the damn trailer, dragging the trailer for the band stuff. But,
Right. So speaking of which, your show last year, you had a record amount of cars. If I remember, it was like 190-ish.
yeah, I don't remember that off the top of my head, but it was pretty good. I mean, we're stuffing a lot of cars in that little area there. So
yeah, it was somewhere between a lot and a shitload. I remember that.
yeah. Yeah,
But-
that's a lot of fun. We try to do it the first Sunday in October at the Barrel Inn Bar in lovely downtown Deansville, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Deansville. And if those of you are wondering about maybe should I go to that show? Absolutely, you should go to that show. The food is second to none. The people at the bar super friendly, and it's just a neat location. What was that building initially? Do you have any history on it?
That's all I've ever known it as. I mean, it's pretty crazy. You go into Deansville, and it's I don't want to disparage the town, but it looks a little run down,
Well,
and there's only a few buildings. And you cross the railroad tracks, and you see the biggest damn bar you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. Well, they had their priorities straight. But no,
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I'm just telling you what's there. So.
No, that in Deansville, like you said, you're right. You're like, what the hell? Where am I going? And then you go to railroad tracks, like, well, shit, there it is. I say that every year I go to your show. I come across railroad tracks. Well, there it is. Because I seem to forget. And I'm like, I know there's railroad tracks. And it's like, and then you go around that. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, we try to do things a little different with hand make the trophies, or my brother makes a few occasionally, and we throw them all together with just leftover crap out of the shop. And, no plastic trophy handout for us. We just get together and go, hey, that car is cool. We're going to give them something, basically.
But didn't you do it with, you have like a best sounding exhaust contest, And
We
then
did
you had best original. I mean, it was just you didn't have the common classes, and that was one
it's
thing I
not your
really liked
typical.
about it.
Yeah, it's not your typical stuff. Like I said, depending on what we find for to make trophies out of. This year we had one with a an old gas pump nozzle.
Yeah,
So I had that and an old fuel pump on it and a fuel gauge. So we gave it to the car that looked like it got the worst gas mileage. Just stuff
which
like
was
that.
which was Bob and Elaine's V12 64 GMC pickup.
Yeah, that's got a lot of engine under there. We didn't figure it could get much more than 6 miles a gallon or
Yeah,
something.
we just talked to him on a podcast probably, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, and wound out for that thing. He's like 2,800. That's a lot of iron to be spinning.
It's an interesting vehicle, that's for sure.
All right. Well, Dave, if somebody wants to book the Smokin Meerkats for a wedding or any kind of other event, retirement party, because we're all getting older or whatever, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can go to smokinmeerkats.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place, just not TikTok.
Well, that's good.
That's not a political thing. We just haven't done that, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to support the Chi-Coms either. Anyway, do you got any events coming up with the Meerkats?
We do Sunday, February 23rd at the Barrel Inn, where we have the car show, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So just a nice Sunday afternoon of dancing to some honky-tonk music, and they got just excellent homemade pizza. All their food is really good over there.
The food is very good. I will second that. Someday I think we're just going to run over there just for the sake of running over there, because it was such a nice place and such a friendly place too. And a neat location once you get over the railroad tracks.
A good bunch of people there.
Yeah, yep. Well, all right, Dave. We will see you, I'm sure, sometime this summer. If you got anything else you'd like to add, just let me know here. Otherwise, we'll
the Hot Rod Tuesday show is fantastic, man. I can't. You don't know how many people I've told they need to go over there to the cruise. There's a really good one on Tuesdays, close to us at Highway 60 and Interstate at the All Stop over there. But I try to tell everybody make sure they get to yours too, because it's just fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. Are we going to see that 39 Ford coming out to Hot Rod Tuesday then?
You may, but I've been working on something else lately. I've got a 47 Buick with a Nova subframe, Monte Carlo rear end, and a 500 Caddy under the hood.
Makes total sense.
that one I'm hoping to be driving this summer, but who knows? I'm having a little overheating problems. See if I can get that cured.
Those Cadillacs, though, they did get hot pretty quick. I remember that from enduro racing. A buddy of mine ran a Cadillac, and we had a hell of a time keeping that thing cool.
Yeah, it's something to do with the intake manifold sits really low on them. I mean, they don't really get much airflow. And plus, my radiator's lower on the engine, which is a problem apparently. So
yeah,
I need to work on that.
Okay. Well, sir, thank you for the call, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you once more, maybe before the winter's over. But otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you at Hot Rod Tuesday sometime this summer.
Yeah, I'm hoping to bring a car over for when we're not playing there, and enjoy somebody else's band for a change.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, sir, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yep. Bye.
Yeah, this week in history, February 3rd, 1959, is the day that the music died. You had Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper were all killed in a plane crash in Clear Lake, Iowa, with their pilot. So just the four of them were killed in that day, and my great-grandpa also died, but not on the plane.
Yeah, he died that day. That was one thing my dad always said. Yep, your grandpa died today, but not on a plane. So yeah, that was those guys. I mean, and you've all seen the stories about should I take the plane? Should I take the plane? The coin flip between who was it?
Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
Was it Waylon Jennings and Richie Valens?
No, I think he gave his seat to the Big Bopper, didn't he?
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember he gave his seat up, and then the other guys took the bus. And the only reason he didn't take the bus is because the heater didn't work on the bus, and being in Clear Lake, Iowa this time of year is obviously cold as shit. So I can see why they'd want to get in a plane. And I believe Buddy Holly was sick too at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely wanted to, get to the next place and try to heal up. And speaking of which, this is completely off the cuff because it just popped into my head. And they still do the winter dance party in Clear Lake, Iowa at the Surf Ballroom. Definitely something on my bucket list. I'd like to get down there to see that. You'd have to look it up on a Surf Ballroom website, but they do have all sorts of different stuff coming on. And it's all like 50s and 60s stuff, groups that are playing down there. I think I saw where Chubby Checker was playing.
And that's where Andy makes sure he always plays every year, right?
Yeah, Andy Yawn, the Rockabilly Kid, played down there for the winter dance party. So, I mean, just to be inside the hallowed halls of the Surf Ballroom would be pretty cool thing.
And just verifying this coin toss, it was a member of Buddy Holly's band that lost the coin toss to Richie Valens.
Oh,
Okay.
to Richie, okay.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. No, I looked at this the other day. I saw their pictures, and Richie Valens was 17 years old when he died in that plane crash.
I think Buddy was only 22.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
22 and Bopper was 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at the pictures, and Richie Valens looks like he's a 37-year-old life insurance salesman from Wichita, Kansas.
And when I put his picture up in the classroom on the album cover, I told the class to guess how old he was, and they all were saying 30-something. And I said he was 17. They thought I was just kidding.
Yeah. And just think, I mean, he only had a few songs that were actually big hits, but what would have happened if he would have been able to live out his life, and how popular would he have been? Richie and all of them. And, their songs are still iconic at every car show. You can't show me a car show in Wisconsin where those three artists don't have a song played.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Buddy showed his record producers that two guys with a guitar, a bass, and drums could put out a hit record, and they didn't believe him.
Right. Which is the complete roots of rockabilly, the guitar, the bass, the drums, and you're in.
That's all you need.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So if you get a chance to get down there, it's down at Clear Lake, Iowa, and I think you can go right out to the crash site. It's a walk out and into a field, and they have like a little remembrance thing out there for them. And there is also, if you get out there by the Surf Ballroom, there's also a museum. I don't know if it's attached to the Surf Ballroom or what, but I know there's a museum there that has a lot of the memorabilia from that night and from all the other icons that have played in Clear Lake, Iowa. I mean, it's not just like this is a small podunk little place. There are some big names that played at the Surf Ballroom.
Well, there is a Surf Ballroom and museum.
Yeah,
So it's probably all the same place then.
Yep, that'd be the one. All right, coming up next is our weekly Buzz with Beth. This week for our weekly Buzz with Beth, Beth is on the phone. She's going to tell us all about going to the Grand National Roadster Show out in Pomona, California. Beth, what was that like?
Oh, my goodness. It was an outstanding show. I'll tell you that. The weather was perfect. You couldn't have asked for better weather. It was a little, to the Californites, it was cold. They had their jackets and scarves and gloves on. Of course, for me, it was perfect. Didn't need a jacket, no nothing till after 7 o'clock at night. It was in the 60s. So weather was great. Vendors, incredible what was out there. The cars, wow.
Cars were fantastic, yeah.
They were just incredible. I mean, inside, a majority of it was all roadsters, of course, because that's what it was all about.
The Roadster Show, right.
Right, but on the outside, there was like everything from Camaros to lowriders to Novas, Falcon. You didn't name it. It was all outside. Like I said, it was great. It was really, really an incredible show. If you have a chance to go, definitely go. It was worth it.
Yeah, I think I would run through there skipping. So if you ever want to see a fat guy skip, just, take me out there and I'll skip. I'll skip down the aisles. I'll sing. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Well, I had thought about going, but,
You'll be holding hands and skipping with me.
well, yeah, you got it.
We didn't see a lot of that at the show, so there was not a lot of skipping or hand holding with. Anyway,
They see me and Al skipping and holding hands, they'll know that we lost a bet because there's no other thing they would think.
Well, just if you were skipping, you'd know that.
Yeah, right.
right?
Yeah.
No, I mean it was for a 75th year. We went to the Hall of Fame dinner. There was over 600 people at that dinner. And there was individuals that were inducted into the Hall of Fame that the things that they talked about. I mean, we talk about, like I said, Richie must have taken 1,000 plus photos.
Sure.
You know, these people just talked about, and we thought about the memories that these folks have made for us throughout the magazines, through the different websites now where you can go and see pictures of different things.
Yeah.
I just think about Richie's pictures and where he's at with all everything that he posts out there.
Right.
Just preserving our memories. You know, it used to be a 35 millimeter camera, and you had a photo book that you went through and paged through. And now it's, thousands of pictures in a
and dropping your film
in a
off at
folder.
Shopko only to see it in 3 days and go, damn it.
Right.
Wrecked the whole roll of film.
Right. It was blurred or whatever, but
Right.
just like you said, the show was just really incredible. And from what I'm told, it wasn't just because it was 75 years. 75 years made it a really special show, but that every year has been just incredible.
Sure.
And the amber cars were there from the previous years, from all the, from the 60s through on, which were super cool to see. And then the
Right.
ones that were there. And you had the Troy car win.
Yeah, we were just
for
talking
this
about
year.
that a little while ago, about how awesome that car looked. Insane. The
It really
attention
was.
to detail.
The display itself was, there was video in the flooring, and it was an incredible build. That's for sure.
Well,
It certainly
Troy
deserved it.
Trepanier, if you're listening, you are welcome to come out to Hot Rod Tuesday. We'd love to see that car out here. We'd definitely be the talk of the town to have an amber winner here for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, somebody else owns that car, and they were just the builders.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, I thought you were going to say, unfortunately, there's no way in hell Troy would ever listen to this show.
no, you never know. You never know. You
Okay.
never know. But yeah, it was really a great show, and I'm so happy that I went and had the opportunity to spend time with, Joe Coddington and meeting folks and
Sure.
talking. It was all around good.
In the Facebook circles that I follow, Gene Winfield made an appearance this year too.
He did.
Unfortunately,
He
he
did.
sounds like he's in pretty poor health and might not make another one. But man, if you could see the history that went through that man's eyes,
Yeah.
just incredible. But yeah, that just is that's walking history right there.
Yeah, he was at the dinner with us. He was there. He signed. This year they had all the previous Hall of Famers that were still with us at
Okay.
a big, huge table on Saturday. You could buy one of the metal tins and go through the line and have them all sign it.
Okay.
And
well,
he was there for that signing. So
yeah, we have an autographed picture of Gene Winfield in the Hot Rod Tuesday autograph collection over at the bar. That was a fun day. That was the same day Kyle took a picture of Butch Patrick eating an ice cream cone.
Over the trash can because he was dripping.
Yeah. Oh, it was hotter than Ben Gay on a jockstrap that day. But
yeah.
All
That was good. But yeah, Gene was he was there. There was a lot of heartfelt moments with him too. So yeah, he's got a lot of history. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. All right, Beth. So as far as changing the gears from history to upcoming events, what do we have upcoming?
Well, you've got we've got the Wisconsin All Car Club meeting coming up on the 15th at Knights of Columbus in South Milwaukee. So if you're a car club and you haven't put your flyer together yet, make it happen so we can get you on the calendars.
Yep, we'll be there.
There's looks like there's a auto and toy show in Waukesha going on at the Expo Center on the 16th. So that's on Sunday, the 16th. And then, we've got World of Wheels coming up.
Yep, yep.
February 21st to the 23rd. And Pinstripe Legends, they always have, these guys were cool. And at the National Roadster Show, too, they did a pinstriping there for charity.
Right.
And there had been 50 pinstripers there doing stuff.
Yep.
And it was,
I noticed
again,
you ran into, I can't remember his name now, the guy from
Ryan.
Vegas. Ryan, yeah.
Ryan,
I saw you
yeah,
run into Ryan.
yeah.
Another
Yeah, he
Wisconsin
was-
guy.
Yeah, absolutely. He was there with a car. We didn't. Again, you can be all over the place. There was 9-10 buildings
Holy
that you
cow.
can go through, and plus all the outside. So if you didn't remember where you were at, you've seen it 2 or 3 times, which wasn't worth. It was definitely worth seeing it 2 or 3 times, but it was
Sure.
it was everywhere. So we never found him again after I seen him outside. So
And then I see after World of Wheels. There will be on the Sunday of the World of Wheels weekend is the Greater Milwaukee Winter Swap Meet from the the Wisconsin chapter of the Model A Ford Club of America.
Yep.
That'll be from
Washington
7:30 to 1 on February 23rd. Admission is $10. 12 and under is free. And that's going to be at the Washington County Fairgrounds at 3000 Highway PV. It's Pleasant Valley Road in West Bend. Just off of 45, you can see it right from the highway. Computer's a little bit slow. Then we got of course, the Merrill Ice Drags and Winter Autocross and things like that coming up. Beth, you actually have something coming up at the Sussex Bowl on Monday, February 24th. What do you got going on?
Well, the 24th, we're doing an indoor model car picture show. Just kind of break up the winter a little bit. Some of my car guys come in and have lunch and so on, and they're talking about how it's almost like the we're almost halfway through before spring kicks in, so let's do a little something. And of course, by that time, World of Wheels we'll have a bunch of car shows into place, so we'll have lots to talk about. And everyone, matter of fact, I think one of the posts that I had from the Grand National is they had a model car contest going on there. Yeah.
Oh.
The time that these people put into their cars for this contest was cool too.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. Actually, we're kind of thinking about doing something like that in Leipzig, but I'm not exactly sure how to get that done yet. But so if anybody's got any ideas for me there, i.e. how to pay for it, feel free to message the page at hotrodtuesdaypodcast@gmail.com. All right, Beth, do you have anything else for this week?
No, I have nothing else for this week or for really the rest of February right now. If something comes up, of course, probably next week we'll have stuff because we'll be at the meeting.
Right.
So
right. We'll have all sorts of stuff
to chat about then. So,
okay.
But no, it's been great, and we're halfway through the spring. So, if you've got your cars, get out, start them up, and smell some exhaust, and make sure your garage is open, of course.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll love your car forever and ever and ever.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
Beth.
But thank you so much, and have a great week, and we'll see you at the show if you show up and get out there and drive them. So,
all right, Beth. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, you guys. Have a great one. Thanks again.
Right. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast. Join us next week where you might hear Al say,
So, yeah, I'm quite proud of myself. Today after work, I spent 45 minutes on the treadmill. Next week, I think I'll turn it on.
There we go.